Okay, this is our first class problem, Apple Company. The company manufactures and sells boxes of envelopes, and they sold 50,000 boxes with revenue of 200,000. So once you know what your revenue is and how many units there were, then you can figure out your selling price. Okay, variable costs are 120,000, and operating income is 30,000. So the first question is, what is the total contribution margin and what is the contribution margin per unit? So I've got sales here, less your variable costs is your contribution margin, 80,000. We divide that by 50,000 units, so our contribution margin per unit is $1.60 per unit. Okay, all right. The next piece is, what are your total fixed costs? And what I want you to focus on here is this one piece. Let's see. Yeah, this box right here. I've got sales less variable costs as a contribution margin, and I've got a column for the total. There are unit cost per unit, and then a percent. And what really works, what makes cost, value, and profit work, is that this ratio will stay the same through all kinds of changes in volume. Okay, we can change the volume. We can have 250,000 in sale, and 60% will still be cost, and 40% will still be contribution margin. Okay, so it's really a handy thing. The other reason why I like this is because it lets us fill in what we didn't know. So here was my initial sales, 200,000, 120, and 80, and we sold 50,000 units. So I know that my selling prices, I divide all these by 50,000. My selling price is $4 per unit, less variable cost of $2.40, gives me a contribution margin of $1.60. Okay, so my sales are 100%. So then if you take, what sales are always 100%. Okay, this is always 100%. And then if I take $1.60 and divide it by $4, I'll get 40%. Okay, so my contribution margin ratio, that's what this is, CM ratio, is 40%, which tells us that for every dollar of sales that we have, we've got 40 cents in profit. Okay, so then I took, the question was, what are the total fixed costs? So we've got sales of 200, and our variable cost is 120, gives us an $80,000 contribution margin. They told us that operating income was 30,000. Okay, so if you just back into this, we know the fixed cost then must be 50,000. Okay, then they asked what was the break-even point in units. I can take our fixed cost divided by the contribution margin per unit, so that's 50,000 divided by $1.60 gives us 31,250, and that is units. Okay, there's our contribution margin per unit. If I divide it by the contribution margin ratio, it'll give me dollars, break-even dollars. Okay, and that is the next one. Here is part D then for that problem. So is the break-even point in sales dollars? Here's my fixed cost is 50,000 divided by my contribution margin percentage, or contribution margin ratio, is 40%. That gives us $125 in sales to break even. Okay,